Oh, my curls need to be brushed out. All right, pop on, pop on. Hello, hello. Happy Saturday. My curls are a little, I curled my hair a little bit ago and they're a little tight. I usually like to let them sit for like half an hour if I can, just because my curls tend to fall out really easily. Hi guys, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Helena. This is my mom face, and I'm just fiddling with my hair. I curled my hair a little bit ago, and now I forgot that I needed to brush it out. My bad. So my hair, it curls pretty easily, but the curls they fall out in like 10 seconds if my hair is super clean. I just washed it last night, so it's pretty clean. And I forgot about it. I started doing some other stuff and totally blanked until I got on here and saw my face. So today, going to a baby shower. My cousin's having a baby, which is always fun. Babies are so much fun. So I gotta leave in like an hour and a half. So just farting around the house. Gonna get ready really fast. It's kind of crisp out today. It's like fall, like legit fall weather today, which I love. I love, love, love fall weather. So I'm super excited that it's starting. I love being able to walk outside in like a sweatshirt or a hoodie and still wear flip-flops. Yeah, I'm gonna have to work with this a little later. So we're finally getting to that kind of weather in Cincinnati, which I love fall. Fall is my favorite. So I'm going in with my tried and true BB Flawless mixed with our liquid foundation. And the other thing with this is you have to shake it really well, and it has a dropper, and squeeze the dropper really well. It's a mineral-based foundation, so it tends to separate just because it's natural. It's mineral-based, so the things tend to separate. So, and I mix it on the back of my hand. They make little things like that you can put on your finger to mix it, but I don't really need to put that much effort into it. And see, it just mixes it perfect. I like mixing them just because my face gets pretty dry. So it's nice to have that moisture from the BB Flawless, but then also the coverage from the Mineral Touch liquid. It's so funny to see my cousin having a baby shower just because, well, A, it makes me feel old because she's younger than me. And B, because my parents used to like babysit her when I was a kid. So like I remember I have like distinct memories of her being at our house when she was like a newborn. And now she's, what is she? She's in her like mid to late 20s now. And that means I'm in my mid to late 30s. I feel like 30s is always for me, was the hardest age to get used to so far. Like your 20s are awesome. Your 30s are like, ooh, here it goes. So then I take our beauty blender. This comes in a set of 2. You get a big and a little. My voice is really hoarse today. And I take this, you get it wet and then wring it out underwater so that it's moist, it's damp. You don't want it to be like sopping wet. But if you don't get it wet, if you try to pat this on your face when your face is dry, it will pull all your makeup off. So you want it to be wet. So I use this to kind of compact my foundation into place. I have huge pores. I have really, really red skin. So for me, it's kind of a necessary step. If you have pretty even skin, then you might not necessarily need to do this, but for me, it just makes it look a little bit more even. And then usually once I pack it or compress it on, I can tell places where I might need to add just a little bit more. And like I said, most people don't do this. It's just kind of my habit, I guess. Everybody has their own habits. So usually right here around my nose is where I need just a little bit more. So I just pop a little bit more on top of my brush. And this is our powder concealer brush. This is by far my favorite brush. I've used a ton of different brushes. I've used Ulta brands, Sephora brand. I've used lots of different brands of brushes, and this is by far my favorite. And I think it's because it's made for this foundation. So, and I used to just like throw my brushes away when they got really dirty, which is really gross and such a waste of money, honestly. But I've learned that you can just wash them. So I just wash mine once a week, once every other week, kind of depending on how much makeup I put on. And I use a Zote bar. It's a bar of soap you get from like Walmart. I buy it on Amazon, and it's like super, super quick. And I'm gonna have to switch out my BB Flawless soon. My tan is starting to fade from summer, which means summer is coming to an end. It's so sad. But I like fall weather much better. I don't like hot weather, to be totally honest. I'm like the only human being on the planet that hates hot weather. So I use a little bit of our Skin Perfecting Concealer. I rub it right underneath my eye. And then I use, where'd it go? My little beauty blender, and I pop it right in. This just adds a little bit of, kind of lightens up underneath the eye. And I feel like I don't mind hot weather. I don't like humid weather. It gets very humid in Cincinnati. It's not like Florida humid, but it gets humid here. And I'm just not a fan of the humid weather. And I think part of it is because I feel like when it gets humid, I feel like I can't breathe. Like for me personally, it takes my breath away. We went to Florida for convention this year, and I would walk outside of the hotel and like I legit could not breathe. So it was a very odd sensation. And it's just, I hate that humidity. So this is our Touch Behold setting powder. So this just kind of sets everything into place so that it doesn't shift throughout the day. And it also, if you have really oily skin, this is really important because it locks in the oils as the oils start to push through, start to kind of come to the surface throughout the day, especially if it's hot outside, humid. I have kind of oily to dry skin. I have just kind of normal skin. It's kind of combination. Some days it's this, some days it's that. So I don't use a ton, but if you have really oily skin or if you live in a really humid climate, then you could actually, it's a method called baking. So basically what you would do, so this comes with a little screen. You cut the screen out so you can get a lot more. And you take a blending bud and you spray it with our setting powder, and you take a large amount of it and like pack on the powder, let it sit and absorb into your skin, and then dust it off with like a, I left my fan brush, with a little fan brush, and that will set your makeup into place like a dream. That's called baking. I have dry skin, so for me, it would just dry my skin out. But if you have really oily skin, it's really beneficial. So then I'm gonna go in with our our Touch Pressed Mineral Foundation. And this just kind of airbrushes your face for a really matte finish. If you like a more dewy finish, then you wouldn't necessarily need this, but I like that matte. The other thing that I think a lot of people don't realize about our Liquid Touch Foundation is it's got these little something in them. I can't remember what they're called. I'm gonna look it up. But they have photoreceptors in them, so when the light hits it, it blurs your skin. Not like in a bad way, but it blurs imperfections, so it actually makes your skin look even more flawless in photos. So I've noticed that too when like I did our Christmas pictures. Like, it looked like my face had been airbrushed, and she did not have to touch up my face. Just one of the other things about especially our like I said, our Liquid Touch. It's just, I've never found a foundation like it ever. So then I go in with our Beachfront Bronzer in the shade Hermosa. Mine's starting to run out. And I use this to contour. And contouring is basically adding a shadow to your face. Anywhere you put contour, it's gonna create a shadow. And anytime you create a shadow, it's gonna make things appear thinner. See how you see the little shadow makes it look a little thinner? This is like, obviously I don't go crazy with it, but this is what celebrities and stars do to kind of like model out their face, chisel out their face. And you can go crazy with it. I like mine pretty light, but a lot of people like a heavy contour, so it's just kind of personal preference, honestly. And today I'm gonna use my favorite. So this is our Touch Olive Mode Luminizer in the shade Lustrous. Mine's running low. Mine's running low. I need to get a new one. I just always forget. I have like 5 things I need to order and I just forget. So this goes right underneath the eye right here. And it just adds a little bit when you turn and the sun or a light hits it, it just adds a little glow, but not like a sweaty glow. That's what I tell people. It's a glow, but not a sweaty glow. And then I'm gonna use a little bit of blush. This is the shade Sisterly, which is my favorite. It's a really pretty pink, but it's not like a, oh my gosh, look at that pink. Because I'm not a huge blush fan. And I think part of it is because I kind of have red skin tone just naturally. I just kind of naturally have red face, so I don't really use blush hardly ever. But since it's not hot out, my face won't be getting as red. So that's why. So now to the eyes. Eyeshadow is my favorite part of everything. I feel like it's just fun. I'm gonna do my brows real fast. So I use our Precision Brow Liner in the shade Medium. And again, I'm not like super crazy drawing my brows in. I just like to fill in kind of the places where you can see I have like little patches right here where the hair is like a different color or it's not quite as thick or whatever. But I've actually been using our, where is it? Our lash serum in my, I use our lash serum in my eyebrows and it's really helped to grow them in. But when they have grown in, I notice that my eyebrow color, the hair color is different at different places, which is so weird. But I actually met somebody who said that's actually not that weird. That's why some people have their eyebrows dyed. You can dye your eyebrows. I don't know if I would want to do that, but I mean, I guess you could. But yeah. So the hair has grown in a ton since using this, but you have to be pretty diligent about putting it in. You can't like put it in for a week and think, oh, my eyelashes are going to be to the moon. No, you have to do it for like 4 to 6 weeks to notice a really big difference. And over the past month, I've been a lot better about it. I did it like religiously for a while and then I kind of slacked, but I've gotten back on the habit because like I said, my eyebrows need some work. And I just can't like, you can actually go get them filled in with tattoo ink too, but I don't want to do that either. I don't like the idea of a tattoo on my face. But to each their own. So today I have a really pretty palette. This is kind of a fall palette and it's using 3 of our new peach shades. So I have the shade Impish. Let me go from the bottom. I don't know why I went out of order. Gingerly, Earthly, Impish, and Antsy. So I'm actually going to use Impish first as kind of a transition color. I love our new peach shades. I was a little hesitant because I'm like, peach, but our new peach shades are my favorite. I love them. And I think I like them so much because they're very dainty. They're very light. They're not super heavy. So I'm going to go in with Impish for kind of the transition color on the top. And today I'm actually using our Fluffy Crease Brush. A lot of times I'll use our blending brush, but today I'm using the Fluffy Crease Brush because I wanted a little bit more like concentrate. I did not blend around my eyes very well. Did not blend my, I don't have my contacts in today. So yesterday, I'm just not good at contacts. Yesterday I put my contacts in the wrong eye. Like I put the left one in the right and the right one in the left. So that was nice. And then, so I'm driving down the road and I'm like, why is everything so blurry? But then I'm like, oh crap, I've done it. I've done it before. I'd like to say it's not the first time I did it, but it's not. So I switched them. And of course I didn't have any contact solution or anything. So when I switched them, they kind of were dried. So my eyes were really dry yesterday. And then I fell asleep in them until about midnight. I'm just like the poster child of what not to do with contacts. So this is just a really pretty light transition color. And then I'm gonna go in with the shade Gingerly, which is kind of as an orange hue to it without being like orangey. I don't know if that made any sense. It's orangey without being too orangey. The first time I ever saw Gingerly, I was like, ooh, I don't know. So this is the shade, let me show you. This is the shade Gingerly. When I first saw it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm never putting orange on my face. I'm not doing it. I'm not putting orange on my face. And then I got it and I tried it and it's my favorite color. Gingerly and Fervent are just my two go-tos. If I don't know what I want to do that day, I'm like either Gingerly or Fervent will show me the way. They're my two favorites. I'm gonna blend this in just a little bit. I think I need a little more Impish on the top. That's the other thing is fall eye looks are so fun. They're so pretty. So this is kind of like layering, almost like a light smoky eye, I guess is the way you would put it. So you go light on the top, then lighter, or then lighter, dark, darkest. So then I'm gonna take the shade Earthly. I think I want a different brush though. Let me wipe that off. And I may actually use a little bit of setting spray for this, just because I want it to be a little darker. Sorry, I was cleaning my brush off. See how pretty that is? And then we're gonna use the shade Antsy, which is a metallic, to kind of just zhuzh it up just a little in the corner. How fun is this? And I may actually grab one more color to put in the corner. We'll see. We shall see. And I feel like this is just a super pretty, super fun. And you probably could even use Gingerly as a transition color, honestly. You could have done either. I'm gonna grab a little more Impish because I blended it out a little too much. And I wanna keep that Impish really kind of a highlight on the top. Oh, that's a good one. I picked a good one today. And then you add mascara to it and it's just like kablam. So then the last shade I'm gonna take is this color Antsy, and I'm gonna put just a little right here on the inside just to kind of zhuzh it up just a hair. I need a really fluffy brush. And I want a really fluffy brush for this. So the thing with eye brushes is the fluffier the brush, the lighter it's gonna be. The denser the brush, let me find. So this is the deluxe brush, so it's a really dense brush. So the denser the brush, like the more compact the bristles, the more it's gonna pack on. So if you just want just a little, then you want a more fluffy brush. If you want it to be really dense, then you want a tight brush. So, and I just want a little, I don't want this to be everywhere. And remember, you can always go in with more, but once it's on there, sometimes it's hard to take it back off. And our shadows are also infused with primers, so they stay really, really well. So typically I never have to use eye primer. If it's gonna be a really hot day and I'm gonna have to wear makeup outside, which doesn't happen to me ever, you know, like if you're at an outdoor wedding or something and it's the middle of summer, then you may want to, or if you have really oily eyelids. But look how adding just a little bit of that shimmer just kind of livens it up. Oh man, this is a good one. Sometimes I just make myself proud. And I want a little bit more of that earthly on the outer corner, on the outer V. And you could even take like a dark color like Marvelous or something, but I kind of want to keep this light because it's a baby shower, not like a night look. Then I'm gonna take my little e.l.f. brush and I'm gonna take Earthly and put it on the bottom as opposed to using eyeliner. And I just prefer this because I feel like it smokes it a little. It makes it a little bit more, I don't know, almost softer as opposed to the eyeliner. But again, that's just my preference. I might need to use a thicker brush. Where's my little brush at? My laundry's dinging. Mom life. My mom life's kicking in. My husband's going out of town tomorrow, so I'm trying to get as much as I can get done today because I have a hard time getting things done with my son. He just likes to do his own thing. So then I'm going to tightline using our pencil liner in this shade. I need to sharpen it. Is this perfect? No, Proper. This is the shade Proper, which is like a dark chocolate brown. I just need to sharpen it a little. It's getting a little low. Oh man, I sharpened it too much. You can honestly sharpen them too much. I don't like them when they're like super, super pointy because then I feel like it doesn't smudge well. And again, I don't have contacts in, so please forgive my weird blinking today. Alrighty, so then let me get my lash primer and then we'll be almost done. See, super quick. You do not have to spend hours and hours putting makeup on your face every day if you don't want to. You can get out of the house and look put together with a beautiful eye look in what did it take me, like 20 minutes? And that's like talking and everything as well. So this is our new lash primer. So it comes out white. I actually wipe a little bit off because I don't feel like you need everything that's on there. So it goes on like a really light opaque white, and I don't typically put any on the bottom, but I will say when I blink it goes on the bottom. So that's why I don't necessarily feel the need to like put any primer on the bottom. And then once I get the primer on, this is just me, you don't necessarily have to do this, I take my eyelash comb and I comb it through. And I feel like this just helps to get that lash primer all up in there. I'm sorry, I'm like blocking everything. I'll let that sit for just a second and then I'll put my mascara. And then lips today. I'm gonna use a matte lip today. Do I wanna use subtle or do I wanna use, I feel like I'm missing a color and I don't know what color it is. Sublime, I like Sublime. Yep, Sublime. So this is the color Sublime. Isn't that pretty? It's a great fall color too. All right, so today I'm gonna use our 4D Fiber Lash. And again, I've said it again, I'll say it again. You wanna zig it and zag it and then twist up. That ensures that you get the fibers, the mascara, and the gel that kind of holds the fibers on all up in your lashes. And again, you don't typically need to put this back in. Usually just once is enough for one coat. I'm gonna get a big mirror someday so I don't have to look at my phone. I put my makeup on in my phone. There's not like a mirror behind it, which is why sometimes I have to use this mirror. So I got a little bit up here because it makes your lashes that long. So I'll show you how I get that off. And again, when you get mascara on your face, don't rub it off because it will smear. Let it dry for a minute, and then I'll show you how I get it off of your face. I just get excited about our mascara every time. So I take our brow liner, the little spoolie brush on the end, and you just kind of scrape it. And once it dries, it just flakes right off. See, that's it, flaked right off. That's it. And then I'm gonna go in with, so I don't typically put the 4D on the bottom lashes just because I don't feel like I really need fibers on the bottom, personally. But again, to each their own. So I put a little on the top just to kind of seal it in, and then a little on the bottom. And then a little lipstick setting spray, and that's it. My lips probably need to be exfoliated, but it's in the bathroom. So we actually have a lip exfoliator that's awesome, but mine's in my bathroom. So when you use our Splash Liquid lipstick, you want to scrape a little bit off. A little bit goes a very long way. You could buy this and you'll have it. I've had these, no joke, for like 9-10 months. I've had a lot of these. I've had them a long time. They last a very, very, very long time. And once they're on, so you put this on, you let it dry, and it legit will stay in place for probably 6 or 7 hours, depending on how much you drink and how much you eat. I typically put gloss on over mine. I don't know why I do that. They're made to be matte, but so again, I put a little on, smudge, a little bit more on, smudge, because you don't need that much. The other thing that's really nice about our applicators, if you can see, they're pointy. It's got a point on it. So this is the shade Sublime. It's one of our most neutral colors. Sublime and Subtle are two very, very nice nudes. And again, you just let this dry. Hey, from Omaha. My husband's got family in Omaha. I think they live more in like Lincoln, if that's right. Does that sound right? Lincoln, Nebraska? But yeah, my husband's got tons of family in Omaha. I'm out. I got a new one coming. It'll be here on Wednesday. I hate when I run out of that. And that is it. So this is the palette that I used today. This is our quad palette. And you can pick whichever shades, but these are the ones I used today. I used Impish first, then Gingerly, then Earthly, then Antsy. I put them in out of order, but you get the gist. And this is just a beautiful fall. It's just pretty. It's fun. Look at my lashes. Can't believe I ran out of setting spray. What was I thinking? It's going to be here on the 11th. Is that Wednesday? Wednesday. And I'll have the new pressed shadows too. So that'll be exciting. This is a really pretty look. I'm pretty excited about this one. I'm not going to lie. Our new peach shades, like you think peach and you don't necessarily think fall, but our new peach shades are perfect for the fall. So here's the peach shades. Let me put these back. So here's the other, whoops. So here's the other ones. Dauntless, Zazzy, Melodious, whichever one you want to call it. Edified, Understood, Abounding, and the one I used was Impish and Earthly. So these 8 right here are our new peach shades. They're gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So I am off. I'm going to go finish getting my chitlin ready, figure this hair out, and then off to a baby shower. Everybody have a great weekend. I may not be on tomorrow. I'm taking my son. Since my husband's going to be out of town, we're going to have a Mother Sunday. And we're going to go to Coney Island. So my company that I work for is having... not unique, that my regular job, my full-time job, is having like their company picnic, so we're going to that. So that ought to be fun. He hasn't really been to Coney. He's been for like one thing, but not really to ride the rides and things. So it'll be fun. But everybody have a great Saturday. Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend. I will try to be back on tomorrow. Bye, guys.